Mitch Trubisky is now in Buffalo, backing up Josh Allen. But a source told the Boston Globe they were surprised he chose the Bills since the Broncos had interest and he had the potential to be the starter. Now, I got to come on, Cam. I got to talk to Mitch Trubisky for a second. Directly to you, Mitch. Mitch, you got to make this one make sense to me because you are a good quarterback. I know the world has said you're not a good quarterback, and thus you apparently believe you're not a good quarterback. But you want to know how I know you're a good quarterback? Because your statistics are in conversations with great quarterbacks, with elite quarterbacks, quite frankly, with the highest paid quarterback in the NFL over the next 4 years. Oh, that one man, Dak Prescott. See, over the last 3 years, America, if I can clear up a misnomer, Mitch Trubisky actually has a better record than Dak Prescott. 25-13 to Dak's 20-17. They've played one game difference as far as total games played. Mitch Trubisky has a higher winning percentage than Dak Prescott. Mitch Trubisky and Dak Prescott's touchdown-to-interception ratio, it's comparable. Their completion percentage is comparable. And Mitch actually has more playoff appearances. They have both been to one Pro Bowl in 2018. That's the last 3 years. So if you exclude Mitch Trubisky's rookie year, his stats are very, very similar to one man Dak Prescott, who the world has told me is great. So, Mitch, if you were that comparable to a quarterback we all know is great in Dak Prescott, then why in the world would you go choose to be a backup? Mitch, I'm going to end by saying this. I learned a lot of things in my life, specifically at the casino, and one thing that I learned most was that scared money don't make no money. And right now, Mitch, you look real scared. Well, my brother Sam Acho and Pro Bowl safety Malcolm Jenkins are back with me. Jink, I'm going to you first. Jink and I also spend a lot of time at the casinos, but that's another conversation. Jink, that's you. I'm going to you first, big dog. What does passing on starting for the Broncos say to you about Mitch Trubisky?
I don't know if I'll call Mitch scared, like you alluded to, just because I don't know him, and that's a heavy charge. But usually we're used to seeing athletes take less money to maybe go to a better situation where they're going to go play. They have a chance to win an established team. But it's rare that you see a player take less money to not play and go into a backup role. And so it reminded me of something that Sean Payton tells his rookies every single year in every single training camp. The faster you learn what your role is in this league, the longer you'll play. And maybe Mitch is just maybe smarter than the rest of us, because there's something that, and I'm sure both of you are familiar with this term. We use it in a locker room all the time when somebody is getting paid a lot of money to really, not contribute to the team. We call it stealing. And that's what's happening right now, right? Mitch is a perfect backup quarterback for Josh Allen and in that team. And you can see the potential to go, maybe develop himself. But this is a league where you go perform. You don't get paid to go get developed and to take a year and take a vacation. That's what we call stealing in this league. And good thing for him, he has those choices. But I do think that he is the perfect backup for Josh Allen. So he fits that system. He fits the mold. But as a competitor, I always want to be on the field, especially if I'm going to get compensated for my play a lot more than being somebody's backup.
Now, Sam, you played with Mitch for 3 years. Mitch is a close friend of yours. I've met him several times through you. Mitch is a phenomenal person, in my opinion. You've told me the same things off air. I'm sure you would say the same on air. But coming from someone who knows Mitch well, what does Mitch choosing to go be a backup instead of going to compete to be a starter say about him in your mind?
Well, I think it's brilliant. But my reasoning is probably a little bit different than Malcolm's and maybe Emmanuel yours. So I believe if you're a smart player, you want to go to a team where you have a good fit. You don't just chase money, right? Malcolm, you could allude to that. You've gotten offered by many a team, but you always went to the team that had the right fit. Emmanuel, same with you in your TV career. You always went to the team or the network that gave you the best fit and the best opportunity. I believe that Buffalo does that for Mitch Trubisky. I played in Buffalo 2 years ago. I was with the team during training camp. Phenomenal team, phenomenal city, phenomenal organization. But there's one person and one person only who's going to make Mitch Trubisky the quarterback that he can become. That person, his name is Brian Daboll. He's the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills. Look what he did with Josh Allen. A few years ago, there was talk that Josh Allen may not be all that good and maybe he's not going to translate and perform. And all of a sudden, this coach who cares about his players, shows up and says, you know what? I'm going to make you great. And I think that that's what Brian Daboll did for Josh Allen. I think that's what they're going to do for Mitch Trubisky as well. I know we talk about stealing money, and I get it. We called him in college, Emmanuel. We called them hamburger eaters. You just show up and eat the burgers, eat the ice cream. You're not on the field. You don't even dress. You just show up. But Mitch is not a hamburger eater. And if we want to really go to the backup quarterback position, many a backup quarterback get paid a lot of money to sit on the bench. So that's just a fact. And so the reason that's a fact is that coaches need an insurance policy. And what better insurance policy than a 6'2" Josh Allen? That's what I'll call Mitch Trubisky. Mitch Trubisky is a 6'2". Josh Allen is 6'5", 250. Mitch is just a smaller Josh Allen. Perfect fit. But before we slander Mitch Trubisky, because I love what you said about Mitch, Emmanuel, at the very beginning, because I've heard a lot of kind of slander about how he can't play and how he's not a good fit. I believe you have to look at where he was, right? Matt Nagy was supposed to come in and be this guru, and he couldn't get it done. I believe that not only Mitch, but quarterbacks, when they get in the right position and the right system, are going to thrive. I think Mitch made the right decision. I don't think Denver was ever the place, not only for Mitch, but for a lot of quarterbacks.
Here's the thing, though, Sam. Don't lie on me. Don't lie on me. Don't lie on my name. I didn't go to the place with the best opportunity. I went to the place that was going to put me on a billboard, give me wardrobe, and give me makeup. And that is why I'm here. Okay, I'm not worried about opportunities. I'm worried about being on a billboard. Now, Jink, in all seriousness, though, you played against and you knocked Mitch Trubisky out in the playoffs. Over the course of your 12-year career, you've seen a lot of quarterbacks, but you know what quarterbacks look like modern day right here, right now. Do you think Mitch has the ability to be a starter in the National Football League? I'm not talking about Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers, but do you think he has the ability to be a starter in the National Football League?
100%. I think when you look across the league and look at the quarterbacks around here, Mitch Trubisky is definitely a quarterback in this league and is more than capable to win games and compete. I think the expectations that Mitch had based off of where he was drafted and the situation that he was in was a little bit too much for him to overcome. So I do think that him kind of deleting himself from the scene for a year, relieving himself of all of that pressures, will allow him to just play, focus on his game and things like that. But I think his draft status and all that surrounded him created an expectation from all of us that really wasn't who he was. And it was above of what he was actually capable of or ready to play at. And so I think right now we see him trying to decide, does he want to continue, to live amongst, and underneath kind of our expectations of who he's supposed to be? Or does he want to really develop his game and feel comfortable with the kind of play that he's putting on the field?
I co-sign that. Both of y'all said this very well, and I will put a bow on it by saying this. Maybe, just maybe, Mitch is smarter than all of us, like Sam and Jink, you have both to a degree alluded to. Because the Denver Broncos, outside of that Peyton Manning 4-year run, they've had 9 quarterbacks under John Elway, who's currently running the organization. That's the most in the National Football League. The Denver Broncos, outside of that 4-year run with Peyton Manning, their quarterbacks are a combined 37-50. That's a 42% winning percentage, as opposed to the 80% winning percentage they had with Peyton Manning. Maybe Mitch just knew, I'm going to avoid that pile over there. We'll talk. Coming up, Matthew Stafford says he's re-energized in L.A. I get you, Matthew. I'm re-energized.